Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'd like to go over some of the cool stuff that I got over the last week or so. Hey guys, welcome back. Like I said, I just want to go over some of the cool stuff that I got over the last week or so. I got some of the stuff in at many different places, I guess, and I have quite a bit, so I'm just going to kind of run through it as quickly as I can because I don't want this video to be super long. But starting off, this is some stuff that I found at Goodwill recently, and yeah, I mean, some of this is to keep, some of it's replacing stuff that I had on DVD and like upgrading the Blu-ray. Or just some of it's just to sell and trade in and whatever. But starting things off, I got this cool like movie hits 3-disc CD collection with just like a bunch of CD or songs from different films, which is kind of fun. I'm always on the hunt for just weird stuff like this. I love the compilations of movie music, I guess. The next thing I got at Goodwill here was the original Christmas classics. This has 7 features on here, which is like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And then you have like stuff like Frosty Returns and The Little Drummer Boy and stuff like that. I just kind of like the packaging on it. It's kind of this cool like DVD set. I already had these movies, but I figured having them all in like one nice box set like this, I would prefer having them than like the individual DVDs. But some of the stuff I also haven't heard about before, so it's all like blind buys. But this was a movie, 1984. This came out in 1956, so this is not the same one that came out on like in 1984. But I think this is like, I mean, this almost looks like a bootleg copy, but it's not. I looked it up. So I'm very curious. I mean, this was brand new, so I'm very curious, what that's about. I mean, I'm assuming it's about the book, but next up here, I got the Essential Clint Eastwood Action Collection. So this has 4 of his films that he was the action star, I guess, for. And so this was really cool to find for only $1. I was pretty happy about that. The next thing here, this is a Olive Films, which I'm not too familiar with Olive Films, but I have been kind of seeing some of their stuff pop up. Actually, I've bought several Olive Films, I guess, in this amount of movies that I got. So this was one of them. And then this was another one that I found at Goodwill. I guess from what I gathered at Goodwill, someone got rid of all of their like World War II films. So there was quite a few like World War II related like box sets or just like films in general. So it was kind of fun to see these there, and especially only at $1. But the next thing here I got was actually a Kino Lorber title at Goodwill. It's only a DVD, but it's a Cast a Giant Shadow, which I've not heard of before, but it has Kirk Douglas in, so excited to check this out. And then we got Frank Sinatra Suddenly. So this is a Frank Sinatra film. It's fun. I don't know if I've ever seen a Frank Sinatra film. I've definitely owned several movies that he's in, but I don't know if I've ever actually sat down and watched one. But this is a version of it that is in black and white and color. So I guess it's like restored in color. So probably originally shot in black and white, but restored in color. And then the last one I found at Goodwill, this was just a Warner Brothers title that I decided to grab, but that is Bombers B-52, which is another war film that I've not heard of before. So it's fun to see. And recently, I have a friend that opened up a movie store / records and CDs and like old concert t-shirts and stuff like that, just kind of like retro stuff. He has a store in Akron, I guess. It's probably the closest place I could place it. If you are in the Akron area, I would highly recommend checking out his store. It's called the Retro Attic, as in like attic, which is above a house, because his store is actually the second story of a building. So I would highly recommend checking it out. I'll link his Facebook page down below if you want to go support it a little bit. It is a phenomenal store, and he gets always getting good stuff in. He's constantly changing things out, all very priced to sell, I would say. I'm not going to go over how much I paid for certain things, just for the sake of, I guess, privacy, but I will say that I got everything here is below what it would sell for online, and that's how everything he has priced at his store. Honestly, it is one of my favorite places now to shop at. I've actually, 2 of the different lots here that you'll see is all from him and his store. So I'm just going to jump right into everything that I got over there. I got this double feature like film, which is a midnight movie, or Midnight Movies, I'm sorry. So that's the first one of those. And then I got this other one. So really cool to see these there. I don't come across Midnight Movies very often. I would like to try build up a collection of the Midnight Movies, but not a huge priority at the moment. But this is actually a full moon title. This is Fists of Fury, which I know nothing about. And I do know that Full Moon is, you know, low budget, at least from what I've seen. Like I've seen all the Puppet Master movies. That's probably the closest thing of Full Moon stuff that I've seen. But it would be really cool to get a Full Moon like collection going within the collection. The next one here is a Blue Underground film. This is Django Kill. I have not heard of this one, but excited to check that one out. And then this is from a label that I've never heard of before. This is Danger After Dark, and I've never heard of this label before. This looked weird, and so I grabbed it, but that's a Hell's Ground, and I know absolutely nothing about this film, but it looks horror and weird, and so I'm on board for it. The next one here is a film that I've been wanting to see for a while. I do know that there's a Blu-ray out there of this. I think there's at least a Blu-ray, but that is Tourist Trap. So this is a horror film that I've been actually wanting to check out, and he had it. So it's actually Full Moon. So actually, I grabbed that. The next one here, this is a Universal Vault series film, which I'm assuming Universal Vault series is similar to Warner Archives. I actually don't know fully. I should have looked that up before I started filming. But it is similar with the disc looks like it was like a burnt on demand disc, but that is The Wildlife. And again, know nothing about it, but Vault series, I decided to snag that. This is another Olive Films movie that I don't know anything about, but looked interesting. And of course, since it was Olive Films, I just snagged it. Also, if you've seen any of these and like you know anything about them, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about them, if they're good or not. And the next one here, this is a Film Detective release, which again, I don't know too much about Film Detective releases, but I have, I guess, 2 in here. But this is the first one. It looks like just like a noir type of like black and white fun, I guess, 50s film. And then this is the second one, and it looks similar, which is, you know, 1943, black and white. But both of those were Film Detective releases, which I need to do more research on what that actually is. And then this is just another Full Moon. This is Killjoy's Caravan. I'm sorry. But another Full Moon title. I have no idea what it's about. I'm assuming Killjoy, like the clown, which I have the Killjoy trilogy somewhere back there, but haven't actually seen those ones. And then this one, I was pleasantly surprised. I ended up looking this one up after I got home, and this is apparently out of print and kind of hard to find because it's like a $60 DVD. But this is The Girl in Blue. But yeah, I was very, very surprised about that. It just kind of looked interesting to me, so I grabbed it. And then this one's technically in the Criterion Collection, And I originally got it to sell, but this is a 3-disc version of this film. This is a Federico Fellini. I guess I can show it. This is a Federico Fellini film, and it's on DVD, but it's like a cool collector's edition of the movie, so I might honestly keep this. But yeah, just kind of a fun edition of the film. Comes with like a booklet and stuff, but... And then there was a couple Warner Archive films that I snagged too. I'm just going to kind of just show those really, really quick, just for the sake of time. But, and yeah. So these were all 3 Warner Archive movies. Usually if I see these cheap enough, I will snag these. But, so that's all the DVDs from the first trip. Now I'm going to get into the Blu-rays that I got for the first trip around at his store. This is a film that I've never heard of before, but it's the Dark Side Noir Collection, which is another label that I've never heard of before. But let me know if you've ever heard of, what is this? This is the Lightest Darkness. I'm sorry, tripping over my words today. Again, I've never heard of this film before. It looked interesting, so I had to grab that one. And then this is actually a Vestron video release. This is The Wrath, which this is an upgrade from DVD to Blu-ray for me. But so that was fun to see a Vestron video in there. And then this is another one that I have never heard of. This is a MVD visual release. I don't know a whole lot about MVD, but I do know whenever I see them, I try to snag them as well. But yeah, this is the one that I got. So, Even the Wind is Afraid. I think that's Spanish, the yellow title. I think this is just titled Even the Wind is Afraid. Know nothing about it, so looked interesting. And then this one, this is another film detective release. And this is a 1958, but this is Frankenstein's Daughter. So another horror, like weird horror movie. I'm trying to build up my collection more with like weird horror stuff. And yeah, so then this is a movie that I've been wanting to see for a while now, and that is Dog Soldiers. He had it, so I figured I'd snag it. But this is one that I've seen like snippets of before on like different compilations, and so I wouldn't mind checking that out. And then this is another one I was pleasantly surprised about, that apparently it is out of print, but that is Dead of Winter. This is a Scream Factory release of the movie. So I think this is out of print now, but... And then this is a Blue Underground, this is Circle of Iron, Blu-ray, or Blue Underground Blu-ray. And so, again, never heard of it before. Excited to check that out. And then he also had some more Kino Lorber titles at his store as well. And so I have A Game of Death on Blu-ray. This is a Kino Lorber. For Love of Ivory, sorry. And Crackers. Again, have not seen any of these, but excited to have those. And then he also had a one Arrow video release, which was exciting, but that is Dead End Drive-In on Blu-ray. So very excited to check that out. I'm trying to get more Arrow video stuff in my collection. And then this is just another Archives title that he had. And he had one A24 film that I did not have, and that is In Fabric. And so this is one that I've actually been wanting to check out for a while. It looked really, really cool. So, and then the last Blu-ray release that I got from him was this I believe it's out of print, Arrow Academy box set. This is Ludwig. I think it's Ludwig is how you say it, Ludwig. But I believe this is out of print. And I'm not going to say how much I paid for this, but I will say that I got this much, much, much cheaper than what it sells for online. So I'm very excited to add this to my collection. And another cool thing that he has at his store, every now and then that pops up is horror VHS. As you guys may know, I'm a pretty big horror fan. I love collecting horror movies, and I really like collecting horror VHS. That's probably my favorite. That's really the only VHS I ever buy anymore, is just anything to do with horror. And I actually got 5 titles, 2 of which were kind of a, you know, something that I've been wanting to add to the collection for a while. But I got Trog, which looks so cheesy, and it looks fun though, so I'm excited about that one. I got Prom Night 2 on VHS, which is really cool. Maybe a focus, there we go. And then I got Oasis of the Zombie. This is one that I've also never heard of before, but it looked cool, so I got that. And then the next one I got, this is one that I have been wanting to add to the collection for a while, but that is Silent Night, Deadly Night. And so I have Silent Night, Deadly Nights 2, 3, and 4, or I'm sorry, 3, 4, and 5. And so this is one that I've been wanting to add, so now I'm just missing Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. And then this is one that when I saw he does like Facebook videos every now and then, just kind of going over what's new in his store. And when I saw this sitting on the shelf, I knew I had to go there the next day to grab it, because I actually bought from him the first and third movie of this franchise. And so when he had this is the second film, but this is Sleepaway Camp. Sorry, Sleepaway Camp 2. I'm very excited to add this to my collection now. And then later on in the week, I ended up deciding to take some of my movies to my local exchange. As you guys may know, I do live near exchange stores, which, if you're not familiar with the exchange, it's essentially a used video game and movie and music store that you can take stuff in to trade in to get store value. And so I did that. I took in like a pretty decent amount of DVDs that, if you watch my room tour video and you saw the one shelf full of movies that I was probably going to sell, I took most of those in. And it was really just stuff that I didn't really feel like attached to. I didn't really feel like it was adding any value to my collection. I've been trying to basically get rid of the stuff that I feel like it's not, you know, stuff that if I didn't seek it out to find, then I don't really have a reason to hold on to it. And I'm trying to curate the whole collection and just trying to get rid of the stuff that I don't care about and keep the stuff that I do care about, and using the stuff that I don't care about to get the stuff that I do care about, if that all makes sense. And I took some stuff in and ended up getting quite a bit of store credit. And so I was able to purchase some things that I saw in the store, and I figured that it was going to add value to my collection. And I was just going to go over, I got 3 items, and I'm going to go over them really, really quick. But the first thing here is actually a Vinegar Syndrome release. I'm trying to get more Vinegar Syndrome movies within my collection. And this is the Thriller DVD, or Thriller 4K set. This has the movies, Thriller, and They Call Her One-Eyed. Which honestly, I'm still kind of confused on what the difference between these are. I don't know if there's like a sequel, and like, I feel like I read somewhere that they're basically the same film, they're just different cuts of the movie. I'm pretty sure. I could be mistaken on this. I didn't do my homework on this before, clearly, but very excited because I believe that this outer box is now sold out on Vinegar Syndrome's website. So they had this at a really good price, and so I was able to snag this. And the next thing that I got from the exchange store was this really cool Arrow Video box set. This is Cold War Creatures, and this has 4 films in it. And I believe that this particular version is out of print. I could also be mistaken on that, but from what I was researching in the store, that they make 2 different versions of the set. They make it one with the booklets and one without. And this is the one with the booklets here. So if you know anything about that, please, please, please let me know in the comments down below. But from what the price on this was, I figured this was about what it was selling for online, but I didn't have to pay anything for it thanks to my trade-in. So I was very excited about that. So I'm very excited to add this cool set to my collection. And then the last thing that I got from the exchange, I'm really not into vinyl all that much. I do have a record player upstairs in my living room, and occasionally I do listen to vinyl. However, in order for me to buy vinyl, it has to be something that I really, really want. I already have told myself I really cannot go down the collecting vinyl road simply because of cost. And obviously, I like movies a whole lot more than I like music, if you compare the amount of movies to CDs I have, for an example. But so I try to limit myself when it comes to vinyl. I do have like the Twin Peaks soundtrack on vinyl, which is one of my favorites to have. And I love The Killers, so I have like a Brandon Flowers vinyl and stuff like that, just albums that I really do care about. So when I saw this in the store, I was kind of kicking myself, wish I didn't, because I just knew I had to have it as soon as I saw it. But that is the Drive soundtrack on vinyl. And this thing is beautiful. I'm not going to open it up on here because it just would, I'll open it up. So, I mean, this thing, it opens up like this. And it is a beautiful, beautiful set. I've not actually had a chance yet to listen to this, but it looks beautiful. This is what the vinyl looks like, which is really, really cool. And as you guys know, this is one of my favorite movies ever made, and I absolutely love this film. So I'm just slowly adding to my Drive collection, which is so fun, but I am very excited to have this in my collection now. And then on my way home from the exchange on the same day, I decided to actually stop back in at my friend's Retro Attic store. And so there was a couple things that I saw the first time around this week when I went there that I kind of was kicking myself that I didn't grab. And so I went back in just for those. Of course, I walked out spending more than I wanted to and getting more than I originally went in there for. But I don't regret it because I love supporting a local business, and I just love getting some really cool things, really cheap, honestly, for my collection. So this is one that I got some more DVDs here, I guess I should say first, and then I got some more Blu-rays. But this is one that I've actually never heard of, but this is a Night Caller from Outer Space. Sorry. Again, never heard of before, and very excited to check it out. Looks like a, let's see, what year? 1965. Like 1965 black and white sci-fi horror movie. I am all around, like all for that. And then this is one, honestly, that is just kind of adding to a small collection, which I have the first film and then the remake film, but I don't have the second or third movie, but that is Karate Kid 2. I have this on beta tape, I believe, but I do not have it on DVD. So I snagged that. This is just another Warner Archive. This is the Devil Makes 3, or yeah. Another Warner Archive, like almost looks like war film, maybe? Like a war movie, but this is another one that just snagged. This is Cheech and Chong's next movie, which not a huge stoner comedy type of movie guy, but I do have a couple of their other films, so I figured, you know, I'll grab this one too. But and the next one I got here is Happy Tree Friends Third Strike. If you're not familiar with Happy Tree Friends, it's kind of like a cartoon horror-ish kind of like show, which is like pretty much just like a cartoon, like a way more violent Tom and Jerry, I should say. There's all this this cartoon blood and stuff, which it's really just like a, you know, stupid fun show, but I snagged that. And then this is one that I really need to get seasons 1 and 3 for this particular show, because I have season 2, and I love watching this show. It's one of it's one of those shows that I remember late night television, it would always pop on, and I would always watch it. But this is Rescue from Gilligan's Island. I've seen so many random episodes of the show, but I always find it hilarious. And I do really actually enjoy this show, but I know there was a movie, and this was of course the movie, but now I'm going to have to get seasons 1 and 3 of that show. And then this is one that's, again, just adding to a smaller collection within the collection. That is Bill and Ted Face the Music, which is actually a pretty recent film, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2020. And so this is only the DVD, but I don't know if I've actually seen any of the Bill and Ted movies, but I do like Keanu Reeves, so I'll just add this to watching, like a marathon of Bill and Ted, I guess. And then the next one here is a movie called The Beast, which looks just kind of like a almost B-grade horror film. Like, I'm gonna have to check this out. It just looks kind of almost cheesy, sci-fi cheesy. This might be a watch once and get rid of type of deal, but I'm excited. I enjoy cheesy movies like that. And the next one here, this is kind of going along with what I got at the Goodwill the other day. This is Clint Eastwood's director's collection, and I think I already own all of these movies, but I do kind of like having like this kind of to go along with the other essential Clint Eastwood set. So I have been thinking about adding a like Clint Eastwood collection somewhere within my movie room, but this is one that I've owned this movie on VHS for years, and I have all the other movies of this under this label, and they're not like good movies per se. They're pretty like cheesy, but I have here is a Universal Soldiers, and yeah, this is one that I told myself if I ever come across it cheap enough, I'll replace the VHS with the DVD, and I did, so happy to have that. And this is another one that I replaced the VHS with the DVD, but that is Splash. And so it's kind of nice to have the movie on like a physical disc that's not edited by Disney. And again, this is another one that I had on VHS that I'm just replacing with DVD, but that is Disclosure. And this is one that I didn't get around to actually seeing in the theaters. I kind of wish I did, but this is Rambo Last Blood. And so I heard like mixed reviews on this, and so I'm not like, really running out to see this anytime soon, but it was kind of fun to see this pretty cheap at his store. The next one here is one that I've never heard of, but it was Anchor Bay, so I decided to grab that, but that is Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry. Again, never heard of it, but if you've seen it, let me know. And then this one is just called Stealing Beauty. This is one that also just kind of looked kind of interesting, so I decided to snag that. And finally, the last DVD, I think that's all. The last DVD within the second round of movies that I got was 7 Deaths in the Cat's Eye. And so this is a Blue Underground film that looks just kind of like a horror movie, which love. So, and on to the Blu-rays that I got from my friend's store. Here I got the Man with No Name double feature, and this is A Fistful of Dollars and A Few Dollars More, which I have The Good, the Bad, the Ugly on Blu-ray already, and so this is kind of going to be completing that trilogy out, which is fun, and so I'm glad I snagged that. These two were actually Olive films as well, movies that I both have not heard of, and looked kind of interesting, but I don't know anything about Olive Films, but if you know anything about Olive Films in general, just please leave a comment down below. I'm very curious on, is it a boutique label? Is it a, like what exactly is it? Is it like Kino Lorber or anything like that? But, and then this is an upgrade from DVD to Blu-ray, but that is The Conversation. And so I had the DVD, and so now I'm going to be getting rid of that and keeping this Blu-ray. And this is another Vestron video. This is number 23 in their collection, but Steel Dawn with Patrick Swayze. So very happy to come across this. Then I got here Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Pretty much after the third Pirates of the Caribbean film, I just kind of stopped paying attention to the series altogether. And I know there was one with mermaids. I don't really know which one that was. I don't know if it's this one, if it's not. I don't know. But I think this is, what year was this out? I don't see it. But yeah. Actually, I need to get caught up with the series. I feel like there was like 2 that I never got around to watching. This is one that I had the DVD, but I always wanted the Blu-ray, and they had it, so I was really excited about this. But this is The Day the Earth Stood Still. This is the original black and white film. But very excited to have this on Blu-ray now. Almost done, I promise. This is a Warner Archives Blu-ray. This is Time After Time. So excited to get more Warner Archives in the collection. And this is a MVD. This is Not Without My Daughter. Know nothing about it. So very excited to have this. Then a brand new Kino Lorber title here. This is The Ambassador. So it's kind of cool to see more Kino Lorber in the collection. And then this was actually the movie that I saw the first time around, and then I was really, I kind of was kicking myself that I didn't get, so I was able to snag this, but this is the 4K of Spider-Man No Way Home. I got this for like a fraction of what it would sell for in stores, which I was very excited about. Because I don't really care too much about Marvel movies, but this one I really did enjoy this, so excited to add that to my collection. And then he had 2 Arrow video titles, and so I grabbed those as soon as I saw them. But that is Dark Water is the first one, and then Cruising is the second one. So very excited to add both of these to the collection. Again, really trying to get more Arrow video releases into my collection. And then the very last thing that I got this week, I was actually out in the Kent area. I don't, if you're familiar with Ohio, Kent is a Kent State University. You might have heard of it, but it in that area where the college is, there's a very small bookstore called Last Exit Books. From time to time, I tend to pop in there because they do sell movies. I was fortunate enough to find some out-of-print Criterion in there before. And so whenever I'm in the area, I tend to just stop in, see if I can find anything. And I did come across, this is a release of Unchon Antaloon on DVD. Now, I do technically already have this film. I have it here. However, on the back here, I don't know if you can see, if it will focus in, it is all in Chinese or Japanese. I believe it's Chinese. Chinese writing, and so I never was crazy having this, I was never crazy about having this like almost bootleg version of the film, and it almost seems like this came from overseas somewhere. It seemed like it's a region-free disc. It plays on my player, but I was never thrilled with having something like this. I didn't even know this existed, which is an American, I'll show the back quickly, which is a proper release of the film. And so I'm very excited to add this edition of the film to my collection. So, but I think that is it. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you have any questions on any of this stuff, please leave a comment down below. I'd be happy to answer them. And again, if you've seen anything that I went over, or if you have any comments on any of that stuff, just please leave a comment. I'd love to hear about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, thank you so much for all the support, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.